La Monmon Brune.
And remember, life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Ben's Bikes and Booze Reviews. I've got another brown ale or brown beer from Belgium today, and it is the Saint Monmon or La Saint Monmon, or to give it its correct term, Brasserie La Saint Monmon Brune. And I've just tried another Brune before this, and it was really good. And I looked in the fridge and I had a Lautenbacher light Weiss. I almost had a horrible moment where I thought I'd bought a non-alcoholic Weiss beer, but it was actually one of their, they call it, is it Leichter? I'm not sure how it's pronounced in German, but it's their light or low alcohol wheat beers. Now I've had a couple of their low alcohol wheat beers before, not from Lautenbacher but from other breweries. The Inga one, I tried that one. I think that was 3% or something like that. It weren't bad. Didn't have quite have the body of a full strength Weizen, but it was quite nice. And I saw that and I thought, do you know what? I fancy something a little bit stronger. So I've got this one out, and it's the Saint Monmon Brune, and this is 7.5%. So it's got a bit more in the ABV than the Lautenbacher stuff. I will review that one day, but not today. So this stuff is, well, I'll tell you one thing about it. The label is quite picturesque, full colour label, which is quite nice. I think they've changed it now. I looked on the website and it's a lot more simplistic. So I'm not sure whether that's a cost-cutting thing or whether it's more web-friendly, easier to print. Who knows? But that's what they've done now. They look quite a good brewery. All their stuff is organic. They're based in the Ardennes region, which is in the Walloon part of Belgium, the French-speaking part, hence the name. La Saint Monmon, actually named after a Scottish monk, believe it or not. Still haven't forgiveness for Culloden. What can you do, eh? But this looked quite tempting on Beers of Europe, and it's a genuine Ardennes beer. If you look at the label, they've got that little thing there. It's an Ardennes protected, or it's a regional beer. I've actually been to the Ardennes, believe it or not with West Ham, but with Cardiff City. I had a couple of mates who were Cardiff City fans, and they qualified for the Welsh Cup in 1994, and we went over there to play Standard Liège. Fuck me, what a weekend that was. I'm not going to go into it, but I know there's a couple of subscribers who are Welsh and support Cardiff City, and one of them was actually there. He's not messaged me, but put in the comments that he was there as well. He knew what went on. It was not pretty, I'll put it that way. Well, it was, yeah, back then. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get back onto the beer. Right, 7.5%. It is a Belgian Brune beer. It's a 330ml bottle. Label is quite nice. It looks quite old, but they've been going since 1996. And this is a brewery that, as I say, that's based in a very rural part. They call it the gateway to the Ardennes. It's a place called Famenne. I think that's how it's pronounced, but it's called the gateway to the Ardennes. And if you've never been to the Ardennes, it's quite hilly, very foresty, and I quite liked it actually, to be honest. First time I ever had mayonnaise and chips, and I've been eating it ever since. And I don't care who says it's wrong. I'm the sort of geezer that puts tomato sauce on a roast dinner. I don't care. Anyway, let's get on to the beer. Right, there is the cap. Quite simple. Brasserie Saint Monmon. It's fucking autofocus. Come on, man. Oh, Jesus Christ. What do I have to do to get it to focus on the nearest thing to the lens? For fuck's sake. Is that such a difficult concept? I'm sure there's a setting on there that I'm overlooking, but for fuck's sake, come on. This is on the website. It's got a glass that's pretty similar to the tulip glass. Now I've got one of these, and the glass is a mixture of these two. And I'm debating which one to use. This is an old Watney's one, and this is it's actually French Trois Mont. But I think I'll put it in this one now, see how it goes. It's probably full of carbonation. I might not get it all in here. I'm going to pour it quite carefully. Now it's 7.5%, so I'm not sure whether the head is going to last long on this. But let's give it a blast on the old nostrils and see what's going on. Wow, there's a little bit of a sour ester coming from that. I'm not sure whether that's the yeast. Well, let's settle down for a bit. Oh yeah, now that is nice. That's quite nutty and sweet and caramel. And as I said in the last video, for the life of me I can't remember the name of the fucking beer. But I tried a Belgian Brune before this, and it really did have a nice flavour to it. And this does smell nice, but it has got a little bit of sourness to it, which is not something I would expect from a beer that comes from the Ardennes. From Flanders, possibly. Certainly a Flemish red ale, but not a brown ale from the Ardennes. There it is in the glass. Head's going to go. We might as well write that off. A lot of carbonation, murky brown, murky dark brown colour. It's nutty caramel, a little hint of sweetness from the candy sugar, and quite nutty aromas. This smells quite nice actually. Let's get it down my fat Gregory. Bottoms up. I'm going to need to dive in on this again because that was a bit weird. That ashy flavour is what I got on the finish, and I need to sort of investigate that a little bit more. There is a lot of carbonation on that, I will say, and it's bordering on obtrusive in the mouth. The flavours are a little bit subdued, but on the finish I'm getting like that, you know, that ash which you get from, I think, heavily roasted malts, you know, where you've roasted them quite a bit, possibly you've burnt some of them, and it gives it a very slight ash type flavour. Some people call it fag ash or ashtray type flavour or aroma, usually associated with stouts or porters, but I'm getting that on this one here and not much else. I'm not sure whether there's some hop bitterness trying to come through on this one. The body is quite weak. Which is unusual. Normally in a beer of this strength you normally get quite a big body on it. And I'm not getting it on this. It's a little bit, I don't know, a little bit weak. think I'm picking up some licorice on this as well. Very subtle, but it's there. Licorice, roasted caramel, little bit of fag ash on that. And this is sort of cellar temperature, so I really can't be. I'll take the glasses off, see if I can get any more flavour without the glasses on. Fucking bollocks. Yeah, I'm not sure whether that's coming from the yeast or not, but I'm not sure about this one. Give it a little swig, see if I can get any more. As I say, look, I don't know if you can hear that or not. I'll put it up to the mic. That carbonation is quite obtrusive. Now, I know Belgian beer is renowned for its carbonation, but when this is a personal thing. When I get too much carbonation in the palate, it tends to, I don't know, it tends to throw me a little bit. They say carbonation, well, it's true. It's not they say, it's true. Carbonation does help promote flavour, but I think when it's too obtrusive, certainly Erdinger go way over the top with it. And there's not much flavour there to start off with, so it's probably just pissing me off even more. But when I get a lot of carbonation on beer, certainly Belgian beers, if it's quite abrasive, it tends to turn me off the beer. Me swigging that around, it does even out the carbonation because it brings all the carbon dioxide to the top, and if you look at that now, you'll see the head is dissipating, but it's not great, to be honest. I'm trying to look for the positives in the beer, and when I have to do that, I tend to think that maybe if you're brewing a beer that you have to do that too, maybe it's not the most flavoursome beer, and I think sadly this falls into that category, which is a shame. It's the first beer I've tried from this lot, and they look quite interesting because a lot of their beer is sourced from local farmers, or I say local beer, local ingredients are sourced from local farmers, like the hops and the malt, etc. And they do make a big thing about the beer being organic and all that. Even the honey, that they have a honey beer as well. That's organic too, made with organic honey. But I don't know, this just really isn't doing it for me. I've tasted much better Belgian Brunes than this, cheaper Belgian Brunes as well. It's not the worst beer in the world, it's not a chuck down a sink job, but there's no real character to that, to be honest. Not very impressed. So what's the verdict on La Sainte Monmon Brune? Well, it's really not the best beer. Certainly not the best Belgian Brune I've tasted. I don't know, it's one of them beers that the label comes off really easily. That just fucking flopped right off. If you look at it, that comes from Beers of Europe. It's like it's got mildew on it, and the cap was covered in dust as well, so they obviously don't sell many of these, but I can sort of half see why. If Marston's did a tribute to a Belgian Brune, it would not be too far away from that. It just hasn't got any character. The aroma, nah. I really don't see anything in this beer that would make me want to buy it again. I'm going to give it, yeah, having said that, I'm trying to be fair. Do you know what I mean? I really don't like to I really don't like to badmouth or shit on breweries that I don't think deserve it. And this lot, they're only small, but I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. And that's the best I can do. I think I'm probably being a little bit generous here. Don't get me wrong, it's not a chuck down the sink job. I'm going to drink the rest of that, but I'm probably never going to buy this again. And there is nothing in this that would want me to recommend it to anyone. So yeah, I'm just going to give it a 5 out of 10. And I'm going to say there's better Belgian Brunes out there. For example, I've got the glass, I think I've used the glass, the Steenbrugger Brune. And that's apparently a cheaper brand. It's got so much more flavour than this. So yeah, not impressed. Yeah, 5 out of 10 is the best I can do. It's inoffensive, it doesn't do anything bad, but there's nothing to really make me rant on about the character of this beer. So yeah, 5 out of 10. If you want to buy it. I wouldn't recommend it though. There's better out there. Save your money, buy some decent Belgian brown ale, like the Steenbrugger stuff. And remember, beer is working class champagne.